And it had an article about this guy, Christian Barnard, and they said people were coming from all over the world to let this guy do the heart transplant thing because he created it. Apparently they weren't coming while apartheid was going on because, apartheid. But as soon as that went away, people felt comfortable enough to come. And it said in the paper, it said the operation takes like 4 to 5 hours. And they said that he was doing 10 of them a day. First of all, I think things are, I don't want to say weird because they're just different here. Well, seriously, they are. You play football without pads. That's different. You play baseball and take tea breaks. But you only have 24 hours in a day. Is that not right? Well, right away you got to wonder, how is he pulling that off? How do you do 10 5-hour in a day? Well, come on. You know how he does it, right? In an operating theater, are there people who have really significant jobs who are not the surgeon? Are there people trained to be in that room that are not the surgeon? Yeah, first of all, the nurses, are they not trained to be in that room? If you ever watch, if you have the opportunity to watch, even if you watch something on television, the doctor, whoever the surgeon is saying pass this, but it's already being passed. These people in this room are trained to be in this room. They know exactly what they're saying. The anesthesiologist, does he or she not have an important job? You should wake me up. Yeah, that would be a good one. So all this guy has to do really is he walks into a room, the guy's already asleep, he's already washed off, his chest is probably already cracked. All this guy does is this. And walks into another room. Is that not true? He's the surgeon. He may enjoy doing the other stuff, but that's not what he gets paid to do. He gets paid to be the surgeon. There's an old rule about management. Now we're talking about managing your time. You can't manage it if you don't measure it. We need to focus on what's productive. As estate agents, we have this tendency to get into this business and we do everything. And we don't have any buyers or sellers in the first week or two, so what the heck? Let's just do everything. But at some point in time, as you get busier and busier, as you get better and better and more productive, the problem is we start doing nurse work, and it gets in the way of doing surgeon work. So at some point in time, we need to measure this. Here's my little system for measuring. It's called PIN, P-I-N, PIN. If you look on page 5, P stands for productive time. What is productive time? Engage with a buyer or seller in a buying or selling situation. What do we do for a living? We help people make decisions that are in their best interest that without us there is the catalyst they probably could not nor would not make. That's what we do. That's a talent. That's a skill. Everybody doesn't have it. The ability to influence others, to be influential, to help people and guide them and nudge them into making the correct decision for themselves as it relates to buying real property, which enhances, by the way, their economic well-being and quality of life. This is not a little thing we do. But we need to focus on doing that. I stands for indirectly productive time. Indirectly productive time is lead generation. It's lead generation on purpose. It's you picked up the phone and you made phone calls to people, and the time was set aside, you made the calls on purpose, and you engaged them in conversation and created the opportunity to raise the issue of referrals with them. See, once I've got you engaged in the program, once you're making the phone calls, once you're doing the visits, all that is indirectly productive, and it's on purpose because it's part of this program. So one thing ties to the other. Non-productive is everything else. Non-productive is everything else. Everything else you do. By the way, I'm not suggesting it's not important. The nurse's job is important. It's just not the best use of your time. If you're really going to measure it so you can start to manage it appropriately, if you really want to do this, do you see anything in that? If you were coaching Tracy, if you were managing Tracy, if you were Tracy's mentor, do you see anything in that? It's easier if you do this. Let's just get to this. See, when you see the month of May, when she was working, it's got nothing to do with at home with her kids. This is just how she spends her time that she calls work. When she's doing it, see, May, 70 hours or 44% of her total time in the month of May doing productive stuff. 44% of the time she was engaged with a buyer or seller in a buying or selling situation. 15% lead generation. 41% non-productive stuff. See anything in that? In those numbers? First of all, she sells a bunch of houses and has a bunch of sold mandates, but still, there's something in that. Yeah, the productive stuff is decreasing. Good catch, and here's why. This is predictable. Would you agree with me that the more productive you become, the more paperwork is involved? So right away, see, the more houses you sell, the more transactional maintenance stuff. The more houses you sell, the more nurses' work needs to be done to maintain all those sales. And what typically gets squeezed out for you and me, all of us estate agents, is the lead generation. And here's the rule, it's simple as this. Don't do anything today. Proactive, 90 days from now, you won't have anything. We've identified the problem. How do you fix the problem? If you were her, how do you fix the problem? Well, the first thing we would do is take a look at your strategies and see where you might be wasting time. Maybe we could tighten up what you're doing, the strategies themselves, so they're more efficient. That's one possibility. The other possibility is we can outsource some of it. You don't need a personal assistant all the time. Sometimes you just need to outsource stuff when you get really busy. There's other people in the world. Here, Tracy had a client appreciation event, but she never has time to put the event together. She hires an event planner. Hey, she spends a couple $100, and she has somebody come in and plan the event so she can pull off the party. The other possibility, of course, is hire another personal assistant. The point is, get ahead of the inevitable. When you start to measure it, you can see it coming. Instead of being aware of it when you get there, I've got no business, you can see it starting to come. The whole idea of this is function like a real business. See what's coming and get ahead of the inevitable and fix it before it shows up.